In this video, we're going to be comparing the LG Stylo 5 to one of my favorite budget unlocked smartphones, the BLU G9. So let's get started. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison between the LG Stylo 5 and the BLU G9. Now, this version of the LG Stylo 5 is the Cricket wireless version of the phone. It's currently available for $229.99. And I bought this over at Cricket. And in order to get this phone, you do have to pay for at least 1 month of Cricket service. So when I got this phone, I had to, of course, pay the $229.99. I had to pay tax, I had to pay an activation fee, and I had to buy the 1 month of service. And after it was all said and done, I spent a little bit over $300 for this phone. Now this is the BLU G9. I bought this on Amazon. It is available factory unlocked. It works with any GSM carrier, so it will work with Cricket, but it will also work with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Metro by T-Mobile. And I paid $179.99 for the phone. Of course, after tax, it was a little bit more than that, but the retail price for this device is $179.99. So the retail price of the LG Stylo 5, at least at Cricket, is $50 more than the BLU G9. Now I'm expecting a factory unlocked version of the LG Stylo 5 to come out soon, and I'm guessing that the price for that will be around $250. So most likely in a fair head-to-head comparison, you'll be comparing the unlocked version of the LG Stylo 5 to the BLU G9 since this phone is factory unlocked. But I'm definitely a fan of getting a device that's factory unlocked because you're easily able to switch from carrier to carrier. However, with devices that are locked to carriers like this one and the upcoming LG Stylo 5 from Metro by T-Mobile, you will have the opportunity to save a lot of money when you buy one of these devices when it's on a promo. So most likely, most people will be spending around $100 or maybe even a little bit less than that for the Stylo 5 if they buy it with the plan, whether that's opening a new line or porting in their number. Now I bought this LG Stylo 5 at Cricket on launch day, and because of that, they didn't have any promos going on at the moment, so that's why I had to pay so much for it. Now the LG Stylo 5 features a 1080p display at 6.2 inches with an 18:9 aspect ratio, and the BLU G9 has a slightly larger 6.3 inch display at 720p with a 19:9 aspect ratio. So the display on the BLU G9 is both larger and slightly taller than the LG Stylo 5. And of course, up top here, the LG Stylo 5 does not have a notch. And with the BLU G9, we do have a teardrop notch. Overall, I am more of a bigger fan of the design of the BLU G9 because I don't mind having the notch. And especially with that teardrop design, it is very small and discreet and really doesn't take up too much space at all. So you have plenty of room for all of your notification icons and things like that. So you definitely can't deny that the bezels are larger on the LG Stylo 5, both on the top and bottom, but the phone still does have a good looking design, so I definitely don't mind it, but I do prefer the design of the BLU G9 more than the LG Stylo 5. Now up top here, we have a 5 megapixel front facing camera on the LG Stylo 5, and on the BLU G9, we have a 13 megapixel front facing camera. The LG Stylo 5 comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage with the ability to expand that with a micro SD card, and the BLU G9 has double the amount of internal storage at 64 gigabytes and also has micro SD card expansion. Now, of course, it's great having micro SD card expansion on both devices, but nothing beats having internal storage, and definitely in that department, the BLU G9 has double the amount of internal storage, so that is a big win over the LG Stylo 5. Neither of these two devices have wireless charging, but they both have fingerprint sensors on the back, so I'll do a demonstration of that right now, showing you the speeds of those fingerprint sensors. So let's try that out. And you can see it was really quick on the LG Stylo 5, which is always great to see. We'll now do the BLU G9. And that was really quick too. So these two devices definitely have really good fingerprint sensors on them. Now on the rear side here, there are some key differences. The LG Stylo 5 has a 13 megapixel camera on the rear, just one of them. And the BLU G9 has a dual camera setup with a 13 megapixel camera for the main camera and a 2 megapixel secondary camera. Now the BLU G9 also has a special mode with 4x interpolation, giving you the ability to take photos at 52 megapixels. Now that's pretty awesome, and the results from it are very good. I definitely recommend that you watch my full video review of the BLU G9 to see the photos and videos from the device. Now the LG Stylo 5 does not have portrait mode with the rear camera, but does have portrait mode with the front camera. And the BLU G9 has no portrait mode on the front, but does have portrait mode on the back, which is the main reason for having those dual cameras there. It's called bokeh mode, and it pretty much works the same way as portrait mode. So if you're really looking for a portrait bokeh mode, then you're gonna have to go with the BLU G9 if you want that on the rear camera. But if you want portrait mode with the front-facing camera, then you're gonna have to go with the LG Stylo 5. Now the LG Stylo 5 has 3 gigabytes of RAM, at least this version. There might be other versions of the phone coming out soon that have 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is not good at all. But this phone has 3, and the BLU G9 has 4 gigabytes of RAM. The LG Stylo 5 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor, the same processor from the LG Stylo 4, and the BLU G9 has the MediaTek Helio P22. Now in the past, MediaTek hasn't put out the best processors ever, but that has definitely changed over the years. So if MediaTek gives you a bad taste in your mouth, then you should definitely rethink that, because the Helio P22 is definitely a good processor that will give you good performance. This phone is also very well optimized for Android 9 Pie, which is the software on the phone. The LG Stylo 5 also has Android Pie as the pre-installed software, but it does have a very thick and deep LG skin on it. So if you can look past that skin and the bloatware, then you have pretty good software here as well. But we get pretty much a stock experience with very limited bloatware on the BLU G9. We do get some pre-installed applications like Pandora, Reddit, Tap Titans, and other things like that, but not a whole lot here, and you can also uninstall all of that software if you wish. The LG Stylo 5 has a 3,500 mAh internal battery, and the BLU G9 has a 4,000 mAh internal battery, so a bigger battery on the BLU G9. Now that we've compared the specifications of these two devices, let's take a deeper look at the hardware. So I kind of already went over the hardware on the front here. We have a 1080p display at 6.2 inches with the LG Stylo 5 with no notch at the top. And the BLU G9 has a 6.3 inch display at 720p with a teardrop notch at the top. Now both phones have really good looking displays, and even though the display on the BLU G9 is 720p, it still looks really sharp and really clear, so I definitely like it a lot. And I really don't even mind this display over the LG Stylo 5. Don't get me wrong, the display on the Stylo 5 looks really good, it's super clear, and is great for watching movies and videos on YouTube, such as mine. But the display on the BLU G9 is certainly good as well, so I don't think I even have a preference with one over the other, although overall I do like having the smaller bezels on the BLU G9. This device feels like something a little more modern, and it really feels like something that would come out in 2019, whereas the LG Stylo 5 kind of feels like the Stylo 4 because it literally looks exactly the same and just doesn't look quite as modern, I won't lie. Now on the left side here, we have the volume rocker on both phones, and then the LG Stylo 5 has the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. Another thing to keep in mind is that the LG Stylo 5 has a metal band running completely around the phone, and the BLU G9 just has plastic on the sides and back. On the right side, on the LG Stylo 5, we just have the power button, and on the BLU G9, we have the volume rocker and power button. On the top of these two phones, on the LG Stylo 5, we have the noise canceling microphone, and we have nothing on the BLU G9. Then taking a look at the bottom, we have a lot going on here on both devices. On the LG Stylo 5, we have the stylus, we have the speaker, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the microphone, and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. And on the BLU G9, we have the speaker, we have the USB Type-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and we have the microphone. Now if you want to learn more about the stylus on the LG Stylo 5, I do have a dedicated video all about that on the channel, so definitely look into that and check that out. But of course, you're not getting a stylus with the BLU G9. So if you find that to be a really important feature to you, then you're gonna have to go with the LG Stylo 5. There are some like fake styluses that you can buy on Amazon that will work, like you can still move the screen with them, but it doesn't work nearly as well as the stylus that's built into the LG Stylo 5. So if you think you're really going to get a lot of use out of that, then you might want to go the route of the Stylo 5. Now that we've compared the specifications and hardware of these two phones, let's now do a speed test comparison. So we're going to start by turning on the cameras. So 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like the LG Stylo 5 is a little bit quicker at turning on the camera. Let's go to Google Chrome. 1, 2, 3, go. In this test, the BLU G9 was quicker at pulling up Google Chrome. Let's go to Yahoo. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like it was about the same with both devices. Let's go to Engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And in this test, it looks like the BLU G9 was quicker at pulling up Amazon. Now, I do think the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 is a little bit more powerful than the MediaTek Helio P22 on the BLU G9, but having 4 GB of RAM on the BLU G9 is really awesome, and I think makes up for maybe the slightly weaker processor. But we'll do some scrolling here, and you can see scrolling is really smooth on both phones, so if you do a lot of web browsing, you're definitely going to be happy with both devices. So keep that in mind. So we're going to scroll up to the top here, or go to this, part of the page, and let's go to this page. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like the BLU G9 was quicker at pulling up that page. Now, another interesting thing here is that both devices actually have the brightness set at full, and you can see that the LG Stylo 5 is definitely a lot brighter than the BLU G9. So that's kind of interesting. So I suppose the LG Stylo 5, in addition to having the better 1080p display, also has a brighter display. So consider that when you are comparing these phones. So there's definitely a lot to like about both devices here. Of course, the LG Stylo 5 is the only phone of the two that has a stylus at the bottom. So if that is of value to you, then you definitely are going to have to go with this phone over the BLU G9. But the BLU G9 is going to take better photos and video. It also has double the amount of storage. It has an extra gigabyte of RAM. It has a better overall design, in my opinion, with a bigger, taller display. It has a bigger battery, and I prefer the software on this phone as well, since it runs a very stock version of Android 9 Pie. So overall, I think for me personally, I prefer the BLU G9 over the LG Stylo 5. But I'm very interested to see your thoughts about these two devices. Which one do you prefer? Which one impresses you the most of the two? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. But this is Kevin here. If you want to buy either of these two phones, I will be leaving links in the video description. So give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.